Hello guys, myself Vineet. Welcome you again on my new video. And if you are not started liking my videos, please do like if you really like it, and do subscribe my video channel, YouTube channel that Reva Technologies and Vineet Hendre. So today we are discussing on more on the automation framework. So those people who are new to the automation technologies or new to the test automation, they generally come a lot of uh, points to these questions, means what is automation framework is really is. So uh, this is the main core of the engine, we can say like that. And uh, there are a lot of things that we really don't know, but we started working on it without knowing the core part of it. So this video, this is the second video of my channel, and I'm doing it prominently on this topic because I really know what is the need of it. And my focus area for my focused audience for this video is really who are working on the manual testing since a lot of times, but they are now shifted to the test automation or the automation tool recently. And while knowledge transfer or while learning of it, this is the main core that we really missing part of it. Means what is our goal is start scripting, writing down the test cases, but the test automation framework is the main part, uh, the underneath part where all these things are built. So if you know the root of the tool, we would in better position to get the high level picture of the actual test automation. So in this video, uh, I'm going to discuss, means first thing, the very important questions, what is the test automation framework is. So we will discuss a lot of things here, and with examples, uh, because this questions is not new to everyone in their lifespan or in their recent times. They generally came across to these questions. I also did. That is the reason I want to highlight this topic. uh, what are the types of automation framework are there in the market or in the technology space? How to select and deploy an automation framework? This topic I specifically cover in my next video, because if I cover this under this video, the video would be too lengthy, would be too much, what we can say, informative. Lot of information I need to give, because I need to cover this topic very briefly and with detailed with lot of examples, so that people who are following this, they can choose their correct framework technology in their project or in their organization. So that is the topic I need to cover it separately. And the next or the major part of it is what are the benefits of automation framework. So if we are working on the automation framework, we should know the pros and cons of that framework so that we can use it effectively. So next, many big questions, what is the test automation framework is. So I will give you a right away example. I will go to the next slide, then come back. So best way to describe a test automation framework is like a vehicle chassis. Why I chose this image, I will tell you. If you see a vehicle, a complete vehicle, it's a full-fledged vehicle, okay? You can sit into it, you can drive it, you can make a use of it. But uh, the chassis underneath is the main core integral part of it. Means if you really start to think of a vehicle, if I want to build a new vehicle, What is the first part we need to build is the vehicle chassis. Why? It's more important. It actually holds all the integral part of the vehicle so nicely, so firmly, so that vehicle can perform in any condition, in any weather, or in any road condition, or in any manner. Should perform well. So if a chassis is well designed, well prepared, and means there could be a lot of parameters for chassis, but if it is well made, it should hold the vehicle very well. Few people might think that engine is the core part of it. Yes, engine is the main part of it, but who holds the engine? The chassis. So we need to fit our engine also on chassis so that it will work very nicely. So test engine, uh, in relevant for the test engine would be part of test framework, but the framework is the core integral part of it, who holds the test engine. So coming back to the previous slides, so a test automation framework is like a core element set of programs, uh, which actually uh, uh, provides user a lot of user uh, to do the ease of automation. User could be a test case writer, a maintainer, or a report viewer from management side. They will they will get benefited provided ease of automation only by the test automation framework. So uh, it built on the various assumption of testing. Means uh, if we want to test a application in a specific manner, so we can build our automation framework in that way. If you want to build a application or test application in a boundary value, or in a in a stress or load testing manner, we can build our automation framework in that way to to test the application for NFRs, like that. It follows the testing concept, again the same. It it all focuses on the manual technology or methodologies that we generally use, that we all implement in our test automation framework. Again, it follows the test practices. Yes, it follows the test practices. What are the outcome we want? In that fashion, we can develop, design our automation framework uh, to work within. So, we have seen this slide. The next, so we have designed uh, the automation framework, we have uh, placed, and the automation framework in place for all the testing. So what it generally does means, after putting it completely in place, what it generally works. So utility of test automation framework. So it generally provide outline of our overall test structure. Means in automation framework we can define, or we can structure our uh, test usables, like test script, global test data, libraries, in such a manner so that they can easily uh, able to rectify, easily understandable, and anyone who are new to the automation tool, he can readily start or easily start with the maintaining or whatever the developing of it. If a framework is nicely designed and the documentation is supported for that, so it would really help new people who are joining that team or who are working on it to get understanding of that framework in very short time of in very span of short time. So it really provide a outline, because it is that is the basis. Means uh, automation framework would involve a lot of test cases, test suite structures, libraries, global variables, resources, setting files, reporting, logger, screenshot folders, email integration, DevOps, Git, everything we can integrate all these things in an automation framework. So a test structure would be nicely designed and developed uh, so that it ensures the consistency of testing. If anything goes wrong during execution, it will act as it designed. It will send the messages, it will send the emails, where to clean up, where to start. It will all part of framework. Also, it minimizes the amount of code for development. For it will result in the less maintenance. Once the automation framework is in place, the coding part of it only the test script addition. So also if your test automation framework is really mature, the amount of coding you do in the test script are really less. Consider a login scenario. If a login um, scenario is automated and it declare as a global thing, you don't need to write down login and logout scenario at start and end of every script. You can just declare as a, or you can use as a global variable in a startup and tear down processes so that it will automatically handle. That is the ease of automation with the automation framework. Same page of it maximize the reusability, login kind of scenarios. If I want to shift to the some specific tab of it, I can make a global variable. So what are the operations that we repeatedly do? We can use it as a global variable so that we don't need to code for it, write it again and again, and within a single line of code we can use it and we can do that functionality. Again, it will help to non-technical testers uh, who are having a less technical or less coding background. Uh, they will really enjoying or love to do the automation if the automation framework is really matured at that time, and enables test automation using data. Means ultimately that is the goal. The test data would be used dynamically, randomly during execution, and well maintained framework would dispose that data variables accordingly or write it down in a separate files. So that is on the project need. So what are the types of automation framework in the market is? So so what are the types of automation framework are there in the market or generally used in as a practice? There is no any um, fixed types are there. Anyone can invent a new types, but this is the general practice the people follow since longer time. So on basis of that, there are four prominent types are there. One is data driven automation framework. What is the use of it, or what is the major differentiator we can see on later's part? Keyword driven automation framework, that is the mostly used automation framework type, keyword driven. There are a lot of benefits out of it. We will discuss while doing the video on a specific to the keyword automation framework. Modular automation framework, it's one of the kind, but it's used for some specific application types. Hybrid. Hybrid is you can use or mix two or three types collectively, and you can use of it. Hybrid is also vastly used in automation domain. So what is the next? Data driven automation framework. So what is data driven automation framework? What are the advantages? It's use the repetitive test scripts with this different input and data coming out of it. Consider a scenario uh, where you need to check the login page, and the username and password are a lot of in hundreds or in thousands. So where data is more important than the uh, workflow. Workflow is one same. Workflow is same, but data you need to verify against it. In that case, data-driven automation framework would be used. So it will cover a lot of things, uh, like a login page or same workflow with different data, user creation, um, HRMS site where a lot of employees information needs to be created. So where data is really quite important. It can be used from Excel or it can be used from in form of JSON. That is different scenarios. But mostly it would be used where uh, workflow are similar, having the less important, but the data is having more important. Uh, Data pools with help of RFT, IBM RFT data pools. That is again help of doing automation. Um, um, there could be less coding in that case. If you are using data repeatedly, you just need to uh, select the data, put into that, and test it. So there could be uh, less coding in that case, and ease of testing, time consuming, and complex. So that is the best possible automation candidate where the we are creating a lot of logins, users, a lot of things that is repetitive to the vehicle information, insurance domain. A lot of things can be used using the data-driven automation framework. So that is just a highlight of it and the difference that I have explained, where the data is quietly more important than the workflows. Keyword driven automation framework, that is the most important. So as its name suggests, it enables uh, keyword driven means login is one of my scenarios. So if I given login application is my keyword, and on that login application I have write down all the login steps, and I have keep it as a global variable. So next time if I want to log in, I don't need to write down all these steps. If I use the login application, the login scenario would be taken care. Logout, same for logout application. All the repetitive things that we generally do in our automation or in application testing, that we can use as a keyword, so that coding would be less. Data and keyword tables are being used independent for automation tool. And again, mostly, hello, mostly the documentation part of it. So it will be easy from a keyword automation framework perspective to document things. Same if I declare the login as a global variable, and I put it in a global library keyword, so anybody can use it in any time of manners. So the documentation or the library would get increased, and on a mature automation framework time span, there are every single keyword is available for that application. Then at that point the test script writing is too minimal, so that you can cover a complex scenario within a 10 or 15 steps. That is the main ease of doing automation. So it's a very good, we will again discuss this while giving you a demo and details of the keyword automation framework, but it is highly used and recommended. Modular automation framework. That is the next type. So there are two type of modular automation framework. This is test script modularity and test library architecture framework. So test script modularity means you can create a small independent script representing a module or a scenario, and it can be used as a function. Means if I want to test a small application, it's not a highly complex or tedious things to do. So better to develop a high scale framework rather than go with the modular automation framework. First thing, test script modularity, you can like in a 2 3 test cases I'm able to cover my module or a complete workflow. So give a name of it, and you can directly use this script for the test case execution. So this is they are small frameworks, and the application under testing is very small, limitative, and within a 2 3 test cases you are able to test the complete module or workflow. In that case, we should recommend the modular frameworks. And test library architecture framework is one of the type. Um, it enables the creation of library files representing modules. Means again, the application somewhat is not so big, like a Flipkart and other Amazon sites. Okay, small applications, but you can again having some good number of test cases, so that within the model name you can create a libraries accordingly. Means I would give you an example in test script modularity. If a model is covered by 3 to 8 or a single digit, you can go with the test script modularity. But uh, test library architecture style, you can go where the 2 digits meant 15 to 20 test cases which cover the single module. So I will go with the library options. Hybrid. So again, I have said that hybrid is it's the again the most popular, not popular as keyword, but it's most popular, and it can be used as a combination of 2 or 3 frameworks which I've described before. And it having its ability to evolve on the time, and means you can start with the two framework approaches like keyword and the data driven. Again you can sorry, the keyword and sorry, the data and the modular, and going on, you should realize your application is evolving and it's gone bigger. You can add up the or add the keyword driven also. So it's a combination of 2 or 3 framework approaches, and it is also most widely used application um, type. So these are the 4 types that we have discussed now. Let's move to the benefits of the automation framework approaches. It's really reducing the testing cycle time. If your automation is well designed and developed, you don't need to wait for a single script to execute. You can parallelly execute. You can execute on multiple tabs, multiple browsers. So that is also one of the advantages of the framework. Um, it will give you a complete picture. Means what are the requirements, because you have a systematic approach in designing and developing the framework. So the model wise or the functionality workflow wise, you can able to track down the coverage. And common standard means you can standardize, you can generate a documentation, you can generate a checklist, so that anybody new to the automation tool or that area or to the project, he can follow the same. So you can standardize few things, lot of things. uh, Reusable test script like functions, again the library functions that I have talked about. So ease of automation would be the main goal for that. Maintenance is also systematic. It will allow you to, means, if a variable things or a X path is changing uh, for a particular locator. So if you change in a resources, it will automatically take in all the relevant locations out there. So that is also thing. Data pooling for data driven application things. So that is also main advantage. So we have mostly covered all these three topics except this third one that I have told you earlier. I'm going to cover it on my next videos. So thank you guys. Thank you for all these things. Thank you for your support. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. If you really want to uh, know me more, you can email me. You can like my videos if you really like it. I'm myself Vineet Hendre. I generally talk on technology related topics, mostly on the test automation because I'm in test automation domain uh, and in testing domain since 11 plus years. So I want to contribute to the community with my knowledge and want to people grow along alongside me. Thank you very much guys. Thanks a lot. Please do watching my videos. Like it, share it, subscribe it. Thank you.